Hey friends, it's Jenna. What's up? And welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a little work with me vlog type of video, basically showing you how I get my items ready to be listed over on Poshmark, which if you're not familiar, I am a full-time clothing seller over on the Poshmark app. And in my last video, I did a huge collective haul of stuff that I got from my grandma. I did some thrifted items and also some wholesale or boutique pieces that I have to get listed. So basically everything that's on the rack behind me is stuff that I need to get ready and get listed for sale in my closet. So yeah, I wanted to bring you along on my whole process, and it's good because it's a mix of items. So it is some pre-owned stuff, and then it's also some boutique stuff, which I photograph a little bit differently. And the first step that I need to do is, once I have everything hanging, which I've already hung it, is to measure everything and then get it steamed. So let's go ahead and move into my little photo studio area. Okay, I have everything on the rack behind me, and I have about 40 to 45 items. And what I like to do first is take measurements, and I measure all my items while they're hanging. I just find it to be the most efficient, and most of these items are tops, so I'll do like pit to pit for the bust measurement and then shoulder to hem for the length. And then I do have a couple pairs of pants, so I'll do the waist measurement, rise and inseam. And then dresses, I will do pit to pit, waist, hips, and length usually. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Let me show you, this is how I take my measurements, or where I guess I should say I write them down. Ooh, my iPad screen's dirty. So I have an iPad Pro, and I use this app called Good Notes, and I have basically a bunch of different notebooks in here, and I have this one notebook called Measurements, and this is where I write all my measurements. So what I will do is, just for example, this first item, well, I don't measure bras, so that's not a good example, but this item, this Lululemon tank, I will just write on here, Lulu tank stripe, and I go in order, and then whatever size it is, I'll write the size, and then I would write like pit to pit first. So let's say it's a 6. Say it's pit to pit 18, and then the hip or the length would be, I don't know, 25. That's basically how I write my measurements out. And I like to use this digital notebook, the Good Notes app, because I can sync it to my phone through the iCloud, so I can access these measurements like from my phone wherever I am, instead of having to carry around a notebook. I like doing it digital. So basically I'm gonna set you guys down, and I'm just gonna show myself measuring all of these items, and I just go in order. And I also separate by category, so I do like all the tank tops together, I have all the short sleeves, long sleeves, sweaters, etc., just because I find it easier to list by like items. So I like to go ahead and photograph the same order. Okay, so just to show you, I have the date at the top, and then I have just the name of the item, the size, and then the measurements that I write down, and I wrote it on both pages, and now it's automatically synced to my phone. Okay, next up I'm going to steam all my items. So I have my Jiffy steamer. I use a Jiffy J2000. I have the one right now with the metal head. I also have the plastic head one. I'll link both of them down below. Anything I show, I'm gonna link in the description box if you wanna check out what tools I'm using. But I really like this steamer because it's really powerful and it helps me steam my items quickly, and I like to steam everything, whether it be from, you know, the thrift store or whether it be new wholesale inventory. I just think it gives a better presentation when I'm photographing it, and it also sanitizes the items. So I'm gonna go ahead, turn on my steamer, and just steam this entire rack. Okay, I just finished steaming everything, and here is what it looks like on the rack. So I have my rack next to me of clothing, and then I also have my lights set up over here. So let me actually show you from the other side. So I'm gonna squeeze around. So this is where I take all of my pictures. It's just like a little corner of my room, and I have my light kit set up. So I've been using these lights for years. I absolutely love them. They're the Limo Studios softbox lighting kit. I just use the bulbs that come with it, and I'll put this link in the description box down below too for these. But yeah, I really like these. I think they're pretty affordable, and they provide like really good lighting. And then my rack is next to me with everything in order, and I take most of my photos hanging. So I have these clear acrylic hangers, which I get at the Container Store. I just have a regular one, and then I have a pant version. And what I do is I take all my photos over here on a command hook with the hanger, and I stand in between my lights and the wall. So over here are the lights, probably like 4 feet away. There's not like a real science, and I'll just stand in between and take the photos right here. Okay, and just for an example of the photos that I'm going to be taking, I will do a front shot and also a back shot, and then I will usually do, I don't know, something like this where you can kind of see some of the details. I might go up close and do like the little palm trees, and then I always do a shot of the brand label and the size tag, and then I also do a photo of the care label with like the fabric content and everything down here. So I always take photos of those parts of the item, and I just go through as quickly as I can. Like I said, I do most of my stuff hanging. I just think it's the fastest, most efficient way, and I think it still shows the item well. Now for the boutique items, so these are my items that are wholesale that I have like multiple sizes and quantities of. These items I will do hanging, but I'm also going to model them. So I'll show you that in a little bit, but first I'm gonna go through and just photograph everything. And I forgot to mention, I take all my photos on my phone. I have an iPhone XS. I had an 8 Plus for a long time before that. I used to have a 7. I think when I started Poshmark, I had a 4. But I've always taken my photos on my phone. And on iPhones, they have like a square mode, which your photos need to be in square for Poshmark. So I just go ahead and take all my photos in the camera app in the square mode, and it just makes it for much easier process later and not having to like edit and crop anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and start taking photos.
I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast, and every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars.
Okay, I just finished photographing the rack of clothing and most of it is up here on top. I just basically lay everything over the top instead of putting it back on hangers after, and then I'm going to bag and inventory it. But first I need to take photos of myself wearing my boutique items. I also pulled a couple of the graphic tees to layer under some of the kimonos, so I'll model those together. And I'm not going to show you me taking the photos of myself, however, I'll show you how I do it. So basically I have this, I think they call it like a selfie tripod. So basically it's a stand that holds your phone, and I have my phone in there with the camera facing, the front camera facing me. It comes with this little remote that connects via Bluetooth. So basically I hold this in one hand and I push it and it takes the photo from the camera, and I will crop it and edit it later. So I don't put any of like my face in the photo. I just put the item, and this little remote helps so much. Okay, I just finished photographing the boutique stuff, so I tried to insert some pictures. Hopefully you saw what it turned out like once I took pictures of myself and kind of cropped them and everything. I just have figured out that's the best way for me to get photos of me modeling items instead of having to ask someone else and wait around. I like just using the little remote control, and I like modeling my boutique items myself. So yeah, I finished that, and now I just have my belts left. So I have this pile next to me of all the belts that I showed earlier or in my previous video, previous haul. And then I have my light box right here. So I'm just sitting on the ground. I used to keep this on a desk, but I gave the desk to my sister. So for now I have this box on the ground, and I'm gonna measure the belts, and then I'm just going to put them in one by one and take my photos in the light box.
Come on, baby, take my hand. And we don't need to do the things we don't want to
do. Okay, back in my office chilling out because that actually took me a while. I didn't time myself. Sometimes I time myself just to like see how long things take me and if I improve, if I get faster at certain things. To me, the thing that takes the longest is steaming. Photographs don't normally take that long for me because I feel like I have it down to a rhythm of which photos I take, and it's just very repetitive. But I don't know, some of those steaming takes a long time. And then also when I take photos of myself, like when I model items, it takes a while because I feel like I have to take probably 100 photos of each item on me just because I don't know how it's going to turn out. I can't really tell when I'm doing it, so I just take a lot of photos. So that took me a little while, and yeah, now I'm done with that. The last thing I have to do is bag my inventory. So for me, when I store my inventory, I store it in these boxes that are behind me here, and I pre-bag everything. So I fold it up and I put it in these plastic, clear plastic storage bags, and I put an inventory number on every single item, and I fold it with this folding board because I'm terrible at folding, so this just makes it have a better presentation. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm not gonna show it. I think what I'm gonna do is make a separate video for how I store my inventory. I've done one in the past, like one of my very first videos on YouTube. It's over a year old, which I'll put it down in the description box below. So it's very similar to that, how I at least bag my inventory, but I have changed how I do my numbers and like my letters and everything, basically my inventory code. So I'm gonna go through that in an updated video, but I feel like this video has gotten kind of long and I'm getting a little bit tired. So I feel like I should just end it here, and I'm gonna get everything listed. Probably by the time this video goes up, I think it's actually already gonna be listed. So my Poshmark closet's always linked in the description box down below, and I hope this helped for you to see just a little bit more of my process. And I pretty much do everything, I like to say, in batches. So I do all my, obviously you saw I did all my measurements, I did all my steaming, then I do all my photos, bag everything, sit down and list everything. So I like to personally just do it all by sections. I feel like that's the most efficient for me, and it allows me to just get a little bit faster each time I do it. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to my channel already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!